Welcome to 48ers, where we talk to filmmakers about their experiences creating short films in just 48 hours. From brainstorming the story, casting, production, and post, we get a deep look behind the scenes of teams competing in the 48-hour film project. In this episode, we continue our conversation with Mostafa and Rafaz from Cinematography Productions. Mostafa, you're a gifted director of photography. And the thing that I really like about the way that you work is the way that you can use the camera in the space to get the shot that you need. And, I saw that a lot in Hit or Miss, but there was a moment when we were doing, and it's my favorite shot, and it may be my favorite shot you've ever done, but it's the third kill in Locked In when Osama comes in. And I remember watching you like blocking the whole thing out, seeing each of the beats in moment. I can't remember how many times we ran through that, but when it was done, it was a very, very artfully done one shot combined with a great performance from Osama. And I mean, it all really, really, really came together, but none of that would have happened if we didn't have a DP like you to really kind of like see that whole thing come together. It was 3D chess, man. And I'm just wondering, like, that shot in particular, can you break that down? Can you give me like an armchair quarterback run of like, how did you do that? Like that one shot in particular, as an insight to how you operate.
You're going to know my darkest secrets. Okay. So just kind of briefly, I'm just a big fan of motion, energy to the shot. Even a static shot has energy if you coordinate it correctly. So a big influence for my cinematography is like, Michael Bay type of movies, Robert Zemeckis, Spielberg, Nolan, right? The show don't tell. And with that particular shot, given the space that we were in, I just had that vision, and it came to me where, okay, it's the third kill, it's a high point, let's do it in one take, walk in, observe the room, hear the noise, turn around, follow through. And Jake did a fantastic job executing the shot itself, right? Being the operator and just hitting the beats. I just like adding motion to have that energy, right? And at this point in the story, right, when we were fleshing it out, it just seemed like it needs to have that. Initially, I will say though, I wanted to intercut it where like some reaction of the victim and Osama's character, but at the end of it, I think it was wise not to cut it, just to keep that momentum going for that feeling of tension and drive and like,
Yeah. So I did the first pass on the edit. On the timing on that one shot was so good. Like I did not want to interrupt it. I was like,
and I appreciate that because like for me, like I wasn't doing anything technical in my mind of like keeping particular seconds. It just felt right, and that's where like the emotion. Because my method of filmmaking is shoot to edit, because that's just what I'm so used to in terms of like the line of work that I do and my freelancing work as well. Like for clients, it's I shoot B-roll, but I know I'm going to use this shot, so like shoot to edit is always my methodology. And so even in this film, because of again the time constraint of being 48, all right, and in this part of the story, it needs to show this high energy moment. So let's just do it in one take. In, move, around, follow through, done, right? Bam. And I don't know, it just was magic.
It was a good moment. It was a really, really great moment. And I've worked with great DPs before.
Well, and I'm glad that we kept it as a one take instead of cutting.
It's a really, really great
because I also
long
keep in
take.
mind what the audience is going to see, right? And as it's happening, and so it just to me it just made sense to just put the audience in the shoes of or rather, how do I say this? Just see it from the audience perspective, right? As they're seeing it, okay, at this point what should be happening, and how do I want to make the audience feel, and just execute that way. And it was beautiful.
It
I
takes a
like that
really
shot a lot.
gifted person to be able to see like 3 or 4 of those moves ahead, and when I work with DPs who it's like, "Hey, I wanna show this," and they can see 3 or 4 shots ahead, it really you can't know how valuable that is to a director because you just can't see that many moves ahead, and
Yeah, I
when
mean,
I was watching you work in that moment, it was a blast.
I appreciate that. I mean, definitely. I mean, I like camera work is my forte, right? Like I said earlier, it's just show and don't tell. And so leveraging all the technical aspects of the camera to tell this story. Like for example, one of my favorite shots in Hit or Miss, right, is when your character had the axe coming out, right?
Okay.
So I had the focus on Jacob, but then I rack focus back to you as you reveal it, right? And so that's the element of the cinematography conveying that emotion of like, oh crap, there's the stakes are heightened. Show don't tell, right?
Dude, but you're doing that, like, all in your hand, and,
Yeah.
like, that's the thing I don't think people realize about filmmaking is that, like, you've got 3 or 4 different disciplines that somebody needs to understand extremely well to execute at a decent level, and then you gotta pull all those pieces together, and in that moment, you're doing really, really great cinematography, but you're doing it in a way that you know that your editor is gonna be able to just weave that thing together, and it's just it's so much fun.
Yeah, my editor being me.
Hey, I helped.
And you and you're also an editor too. But yeah, I mean, again, the method is shoot to edit. And so
Yeah,
I think about that and play along that way.
Yeah, I
good
think
stuff.
a lot of the stuff that we're picking up from the 48s, it applies not just to, this one competition. Like that shoot to edit thing, dude, like I use it everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like now when I do my, mini documentaries or whatever,
Yeah.
that's basically how I do it. I'm like, okay, I want to spend as little time as possible in Premiere. Yeah, so I'd rather maximize, the time I have to spend on camera,
Hmm.
and just,
Capture, capture, capture,
yeah,
capture. And that way in the edit you already have it in your mind,
yeah.
the
That's
flow,
that. So that's the main thing. It's not so much about like the act of editing. It's more about
the vision.
mentally having the story laid out and shooting it that way.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And then like the editing is just automatic because you already know like what you're trying to portray.
Yeah. And that is of high value for
Yeah.
sure.
Really is. Last question I have is, and I'm not going to say it's the last question in the regular thing, but the last thing I want to touch on tonight is like Rafaz. Like I really feel like, dude, you've got a gift in terms of. I know you like watching those film breakdowns, and you can just. I feel like you just sort of see the 3D chess of how films and the stories and the different elements of the story and how they fit together um, in a
That's what
really
makes you
unique
a great
way. And
producer.
what's that?
I'm saying that's what makes him such a great producer.
It makes him fantastic, and just somebody who can kinda see the story at that 3D level and just swap the pieces out and just like, when you get a prompt, and I'm thinking about, like, Hit or Miss or Locked In, because I was there for those. But, like, how do you sort of approach, coming up with a story for that? Because that's the most crucial aspect of this whole thing, and if you don't have something to work with there, you're sunk. But what's your approach on that? How do you take that apart and put it back together again?
You guys want to know my secret?
Yeah.
Always.
You know what my secret weapon is? I'll say to you guys. Like I come up with extremely broad strokes, and people like you guys, like you, Doug, Mahmoud, a lot of the guys, like you guys just come in, and I don't think you guys realize like how much of the details you're filling in, and I'm just like working off of that. And I realized this when I did WizCon because I for the most part just wrote the first draft of the script myself, and it sucked. Not just like in terms of the story, but like the how painful it was to do.
Mm.
I would not want to do that again.
Man, I felt for you
It,
that weekend, dude. I knew what you were dealing with.
yeah. Like no, like I legitimately think that if you guys weren't there, none of these stories would be as good as it is. I'll give you an example. Like Locked In, like the title Locked In, it didn't come from me. It came from Mahmoud.
Mhm.
And he basically like threw that idea out there because we kind of had like a rough idea of the story at that point, but we didn't know how it was going to end. And Mehmet was like, "Yeah, what about locked in syndrome?" And then he was like, yeah, I don't know if it's going to work." And I was like, "Dude, what are you talking about?
Hmm.
That's it right there.
Right.
That's the freaking story."
Yeah.
And like, I think this goes back to collaboration, right? Like when you have the right people around you, like everything you do, it gets elevated because they're pushing you.
Mm.
I really don't think that the scripts that we write is like 80% Rafaz, 20% everyone else. I don't think that at all. Like I
Neither
think
do
I
I.
give you guys like a little bit of the germination of the seed, and you guys just go to town on it. And that's how we come up with the movies that we do.
Collaboration.
Yeah.
Collaboration.
Man. Okay. No, I like that. Help me figure out about like what is the real motivation for you to do this? Is it the recognition? Is it the challenge? Is it the team that you build? Like I'm just trying to figure out what is the thing that sort of gets rewarded for you when you go and spend 48 hours working on something like this like crazy and not knowing what you're going to come up with when you start. It's a weird proposition, but like, why would you start to do that in the first place? What do you hope to get out of that? What button is getting pushed for you?
Yes. I mean, it is like it is a commitment, right? Like the thing is like we're not just some. I mean, from me, and I can maybe speak on some other people's behalf as well. This is a hobby, but we are all like working guys providing for our families. And so to leave to do this is a big deal, right? In terms of our efforts, our commitment and our time and such. And so um my intentions have always been like I need a creative outlet. I like to hang out with some fellow creatives and come together and make something awesome and sharing that with others and am hopeful that they also see the art that we are trying to share and take, the value in it.
Yeah. So for me, it's twofold. One is much more pronounced than the other, which is like, like my day job is writing code, right?
Mhm.
Like that's something I do. I do jujitsu. I do, like I'm making a video game right now, just like, random stuff, right? But I don't think I find um, anything as rewarding as the 48 when it comes to my creative outlet.
Mm.
Like the pace of it, working with other people, meeting new people, coming up with like crazy ideas and figuring out how to shoot. Man, that rush, it's like there's not a lot of things that's close to that.
For sure.
And I choke, 14-year-old kids out all the time. But 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 in terms of like,
Mention that
expressing.
Brazilian jiu-jitsu stuff again, man. That just
Oh
sounds
yeah,
really bad out of
oh yeah,
context.
that's what I meant. That's totally what I meant.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Uh, but yeah, like there's nothing like it. It's like the pressure's insane, the expectations are insane, and it's just like such a boiling pot. But the thing is, once you get to like I want to say like once you get to the end of it, it feels great. But honestly, like the whole experience, like the whole 48 hours, dude, from the beginning to the end, I'm
Mhm.
just having a blast.
Yeah,
Like just it's just so much fun. The other side of it is I get to meet amazing people that are extremely talented in something that I'm not good at, and I can learn from them.
for sure.
Like the stuff that you guys do, you Doug, you Mustafa, that you guys have shown me, I'm like, holy crap, this is amazing. Let me take some notes down.
Right. I appreciate that. I mean, definitely. I mean, I'm with you on that. Like, I don't know if it's just we're coming out of the pandemic or not since, but like since coming out of the pandemic, like, we want to reestablish the human experience of things. And so
Mm.
meeting new people, understanding their background, seeing what they're really good at and exploring how can, we work together and making something amazing, right? And sharing that with the world and just that human element, right? Um I think the filmmaking process enables the human experience
Yeah.
more, and I think that's just fantastic.
Yeah. And I think like when it comes to
I love that.
filmmaking as an art form, it's a little bit unique because it's not just about you. Like I draw
100%.
stuff, but that's just me and, you know, like my iPad or my canvas or whatever it is, and that's just like a one-to-one connection.
Yeah.
And I think when it comes to making a film, it's like you have all these different pieces, and it's up to you as a director or like a filmmaker or producer to like figure out. It's like, okay, I need to grab this piece, this piece, and this piece.
Yeah.
How do I put them together and make something beautiful? Which you can't. It's hard to like. It's hard to find something that's similar to that creative process.
Right. And I'll speak to this as well. Like, um, there's been this push, right, for like content creators and such that you have to, if you can't find friends and you can't do, you have to do it by yourself. And specifically in this industry, you cannot do it by yourself. I mean, you technically could, you will get burnt out.
Yeah,
You will fall on your face. Um,
and it won't be as good.
and it won't be as good.
Yeah.
And so like again, I think for some reason there's been that push in terms of like, oh, be an entrepreneur and be a social media content creator. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, those are, legitimate avenues of, you know, making a living right nowadays because the platforms are there. However, in this specific industry and production and filmmaking and storytelling in that way, you need people. You have to
Yeah. It's
reach out
collaborative.
Yeah.
and have that type of personality where you can reach, extend your arm and say, "Help me with this, please," right? And being vulnerable in that capacity and sharing your ideas and I think being receptive to that, it's humbling,
Yeah.
right?
So the question, we were talking earlier, and I think I would probably add this to that earlier conversation we were having about, why do you do this?
Mm,
And, hit and miss were both received very well. And I had a similar experience where we went, we did our first year, we failed. The second year we came and we went to Austin and like won the whole damn thing. And it's this just, I remember going out to the parking lot and just like screaming this like cathartic joy of being recognized as a creative person. And then when you go and elevate what you're doing the next year, and it's better than what you did the previous year, and they're like, "Meh," and nobody sees it. Like, what does that do to you as a filmmaker, as somebody who's trying to kind of rally a group of people and do something cool?
So, so I think it's tough, right? I think we can all agree that we want the 48s to be more successful. We want it to grow, bring in more money, bring in more eyeballs.
mm,
But if people feel like this may not even be true, but if people feel that they've been judged wrongly, that the stuff that they've done haven't been recognized, it just puts such a damper on your interest. Because like,
like why you want to do it
why do you want
anymore?
to do it? Yeah, exactly. Like
Mm,
for me, like I take intrinsic pleasure in making movies, telling stories, and putting it out there for my, 7 friends to see or whatever. It's fun by me. Um, it it freaking breaks my heart, dude. Like when I see you guys do the work and not get the recognition, especially for like the really technical stuff that other people can do, and you guys are doing it,
mm,
and we don't get anything for it, like even a nomination.
mm,
Like it makes me want to be like, guys, you guys put in a lot of work last few years. I don't know if you want to do this again. I don't know if you want to go through the heartbreak. Like, and the thing is, like, if someone makes a better movie than you, and you, like, I'm okay with it. Like, I don't think I'm the best movie maker. I don't think any of us think we're the best of the best.
right.
I think there's some years where we do better than other years.
Mhm,
But I think overall, we've been growing as filmmakers. We've been developing and honing those skills and the storytelling aspects and, the technical aspects and all that, and being able to put it all together. But this year, like as Cinema King Productions,
mhm.
dude, we got nothing. We won nothing, like
Yeah,
zero awards.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was very off-putting for
Yeah.
sure.
And like the last movie, like we got zero nominations, which blows my freaking mind. Like it makes me wonder, like, are the judges even seeing our movies?
Right. And it's not to say that we were the best, but then art is
I
subjective,
would,
right?
before we even got to the awards, I was 100% sure I knew who was going to win. I knew we weren't the best.
Right. But we would be up there.
Yeah.
Right? And so I
Self
think,
recognition, you know?
right. And so I think, again, like I said, art is subjective. And that's what we have to kind of remember at the end of the day.
Right.
It's just,
Yep.
and so definitely like would like to see that recognition because of how much we know that our growth, that we've, been on this journey of as filmmakers to improve, right, and be better. But I don't know, like it's just one of those things. Like if it really is off putting, like when you feel like you're honing your skills, like you don't you're not the best, but then you compare you start seeing the other films that are submitted, and then you start thinking what is it that they had
Like, what are the judges seeing that we're not?
that we yeah exactly
Yeah.
and like what made theirs in the eyes of the judges a better film.
Yeah, and I think that's what gets me on the more technical side of things, like, best what was it? Like audio, the sound,
Sound design, cinematography
cinematography,
and
things
stuff.
like that.
Yeah.
It's like that's less
Editing.
subjective.
Right. It's more technical.
It's more technical, so it's less
It's very
subjective. And
technical. Yep.
yeah, and like some of the nominations, like I was like, what the hell are they talking about? Like
Right.
there
And
was one movie,
that's what's confusing. Yeah.
I don't want to name names, but there was one movie that had a nomination for best sound design. They had no sound design. All they did was put in like an AI filter and like removed all of the background noise, so it sounded extremely flat. And like I can't remember if I think we got nominated for that same award, but there were other movies that did it better. And I'm like, that's objective. That's not subjectively bad. It's objectively bad.
Right.
That's like there's nothing there.
Poor execution.
Yeah, why are these people getting nominated over other teams that should have been nominated?
Yeah. So it creates this sense of like confusion and like frustration as the artist behind the work. Like, did we do something not wrong, but like incorrect or something, or maybe it's
Yeah.
just
Just
a fluke, right? Or on
well,
on the
and
judges,
that's the thing you're trying to figure out is like, is
and there's
this
no
me
answers.
or
We don't get
is the
answers.
measuring stick? Like, is there something else going on?
Yeah, and I
Um,
think the unfortunate thing is when you start to eliminate the possibilities, you start. I don't know about you guys, but I went down some really dark holes thinking about how we were treated like last 3 movies.
Right.
I will admit the second movie not so good because you weren't there. I had to do it by myself.
Bad timing.
We still got 4 nominations, but
Was it bad timing?
no, the
Golden
WisCon,
Rabbit. WisCon. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, we didn't have the right.
WizCon had its own charm, man. I still like. I think I got a lot of love for WizCon, but
I love WisCon. It was a great mockumentary.
I mean, I think I can be harsher on it than some of the other movies because I did most of it. Because my usual crew wasn't there.
Sorry.
At least the stuff that I did, like the directing, the script writing, the editing, that's all on me. So it's like if it sucks, that's on me.
Right.
I think there's a
but
whole
it did great.
breakdown of how WizCon came together because frankly, I mean, I remember when we were because I competed in the same contest. You asked me to help you, and I was like, dude, I'm doing it on my own. No, I asked you to help me, and you said you were doing it on your own.
Yep.
So
Yep.
and then
I'm like, oh, this is awkward.
oh my gosh. And then Mustafa wasn't able to do it. It was like, oh geez, man.
Yeah.
And then I was amazed at what you put together. I mean, there were so many really, really cool beats in WizCon, the fighting scene, the special effects with the lighting, the writing was like so sharp, even though your actors were inexperienced.
and I think that's what happens when you find a group that you can rely on, and those pieces suddenly are missing. You realize how much you miss those freaking pieces.
Yeah. What they brought to the table. Yeah.
Yeah. And going into it, like I kind of knew that this wasn't going to be our best movie. Like I had no expectation of winning everything. But and to be like, I think like I went back and rewatched it, and I'm like, yeah, this is not bad. It's not bad for the constraints that we have. Going back to my point, when you can't identify why your movie is not considered good, and like when you start eliminating all of the different possibilities and there's nothing left and it's just a shitty judging, then you start thinking about, oh, is this something as egregious as bias?
Right.
Because obviously we're minorities. I hate to bring it up, but we're minorities.
Yeah.
And is there something inherently that we're on the back foot, that we have to do like that much better because
Mhm.
we're not what the judges expect.
Mhm.
Um,
Or they don't wanna be represented by
yeah,
brown folks.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's like it's not a good feeling because it's like it's and again, like this may not be the case. Like these
Yeah.
folks may be amazing people, they just didn't connect with what we're trying to do.
Mhm.
But from a participant's perspective, when you don't have the answers,
Right.
then you start trying to go way out there to see
Mm.
if you can find the answers. And
Yeah.
some of those places are not good places.
Well, and you'd think that for like a global competition, like the 48-hour film project, right? That they wouldn't want it to feel too Eurocentric, that they'd want it to feel like a global competition. So
Yeah.
how could they do that better to help it feel like everybody was being seen?
I think they need to be more transparent about the way they're scoring these.
Uh,
Because like,
I
like the
agree.
Dallas, I didn't even know who the judges were.
For the last several, we didn't know who they were.
Yeah, who
They
yeah.
weren't transparent in who
Yeah,
they were, and then they weren't transparent in how they were being
yeah.
judging it.
Yeah, I know there's like some sort of like vague rubric that they use, but at
Yeah.
the same time it's like we don't know what the scoring was. Like we don't know
Mm.
how well we did on certain aspects of things. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever made like a perfect movie where every
No.
single thing was 100%. I don't think
Never.
anyone has.
Never.
Um, but it's like if a lot of it is like like seems arbitrary, then it's like we lose out as participants because we get demotivated. We are I know you've kind of thought about not doing this again, which I really hope you don't.
So this last one with Locked In really hit me harder because I guess it pertains to like my life circumstance right at the time when we were doing it, and like again I'm leaving my family for 48 hours to do this thing because it's something that I love and I have that support, to do it, and then it doesn't pay off by no nominations, no recognition. It's still a great movie that we made.
That's an amazing movie.
It was fantastic,
It's so much fun. I love that movie.
but then it just didn't pay off in that aspect, and so for me, it was just another nail in the coffin of like, because again, this
Why
is a
am I doing
repeated
this?
offense that
Yeah.
I don't know if I should do this anymore because I consider myself a professional. I do it professionally 9 to 5, right? Production and stuff, and so applying that to a creative outlet and then not seeing the ROI on that, it
Right.
just makes me believe that you guys don't want us here.
And that's the problem with the lack of transparency, right? Like you're going in a deep, dark
Yeah,
place that I was going. Well, it's a similar place, maybe not the same,
yeah.
but if we don't have that kind of transparency, what kind of like the judges being like, we
There's no
scored.
trust.
There's no trust, and it's like, so what's the point? Why are we doing? But I think what we've gotten better at is setting expectations
Oh,
for
yeah.
people who are joining for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Like we let them know that, hey, this is how it's going to be. Are you in?
Yeah,
And most of the time, people are like, hell yeah, let's do it.
right.
Like, dude, I got like two MMA fighters just like completely out of the blue. It's like,
And that was awesome,
yeah,
right?
they had like no business being there, but I was like, listen, guys, it's gonna be fun. You're gonna lose probably like part of your Saturday, but it's gonna be a pretty rewarding experience.
Yeah,
And like, I don't think there are a lot of people that have joined us and they've been like, oh, that was a waste of
disappointed.
time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least the actual filmmaking part of the process.
Mhm.
The awards,
Whole another
recognition, all of the stories.
yeah. And I think that goes back to, like, your question, Doug, like, why are we doing this, right? One of them is it's to get together and make something awesome. Then there's the other half, which is, okay, we put something together. How is it gonna be received? What's the response? And that gives us a barometer of, like, is it good? Is it not? Now, there's plenty of times where there's that clash or that misunderstanding of like, oh, we as filmmakers, because it seems biased, oh, we thought we just did amazing, and we checked all the boxes, but then maybe we are missing something
So
from the audience perspective
so
or the judge's perspective.
here are my thoughts about it. Like I think when you first started off, we were recognized a lot more than recently. I think that's fair to say.
Hmm.
One of the things that I realized when we did Bad Timing, we saw the competition, like you guys, on Possible Films, and we're like, holy crap,
That's
we
right.
got to step up our game.
Yeah.
Because you guys did an amazing job. Like, not just you, but a lot of other people.
Yeah.
Everyone did like such an amazing job. And we're like, dude, we gotta get better.
There's plenty of talent out there. It's not just like
Yeah.
us only.
It's not us in a vacuum.
Right.
Definitely
Mhm.
not. And that's why we made a conscious effort to go in harder on, more experimental camera angles, more dynamic movement with the camera, with the stars, with the actors.
Hmm.
I mean, we had 2 fight scenes. Oh, actually, was it 2 or 3?
3
2
fight
fight scenes.
scenes.
Well, actually, yeah, 3
3.
fight scenes, yeah. We've
3.
done 3
You get
fight scenes.
choked out, man. That counts as a fight scene for me as far as I'm
I
concerned.
either get choked out or shot like every movie.
There you go. So let's go ahead and wrap up, Doug, if you don't
I want to
mind.
wrap up. Just a broad sort of question, but like if you were talking to somebody, just both of you real fast in just a minute or so, you were thinking about doing a 48-hour film project and they were doing it in another part of the world and you couldn't help out. What would you say to them to, you know, not necessarily make a great film, but get the most out of the experience?
I'd say just have fun. Just enjoy the creative process, enjoy letting the creative juices come out, and don't take it too seriously.
As cliche as
Yeah.
that may be, it's
Is it?
fact though.
Yeah, it's not life and death. It's like it's one weekend, man.
It-
You're not gonna break into Hollywood with this one film.
Right. It might lead you there.
It might, but probably not.
In 48 hours, maximum 7-minute movie. I
Yeah.
mean, how much can you really pull off,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, and meet new people. Go out of your way to meet people.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I think
really
if
think
there's
that's
like
where the
a
magic
common
is.
goal, if there's a common goal, definitely like to participate in the 48, not necessarily to win, but it's just I want to meet new people for the sake of like meeting like-minded creatives and
Yeah.
seeing where their strengths are, present where I am strong in,
And learning from them.
and then making something happen. You
Yeah.
know, I think that's where the magic is.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to like and subscribe. Join us next week. And if you can, go make something cool.